Fresno police say one of the area's most violent criminals is behind bars tonight. Good evening, I'm Monty Torres. Ashley Ritchie is off tonight. Thank you for joining us. The Twitterverse is alive and angry over the murders in Libya. But it's also angry over America's response and Mitt Romney's comments about that.
My co-anchor Monty Torres is at the family's home in central Fresno. Monty, what can you tell us?
Just 24 hours ago, this apartment complex in central Fresno and that particular apartment you see off to my right were the scenes of a very different story. This edition of California Vote 2010, Californians have a terrible opinion of their state legislature. She'll be okay. Bobby says he has not called police to make a complaint because he's not sure police will take him seriously. Albuquerque police say the woman, if caught, could be charged with a misdemeanor for public nuisance or disorderly conduct. I guess that you'd call that an unwanted deposit, wouldn't you? Just before 4:30 this afternoon, a knock at the jury room door of Judge Isaac Anderson's courtroom. Then, less than 10 minutes later, the verdict.
I can't believe he's doing this.
Rope! Take a good look at this. It's a real police badge. But in case somebody should show you something like this and you still have doubts, ask for one of these. Here's what's changed since I last spoke to you about 20 minutes ago.
The Valley's #1 primetime newscast, the KMPH 10 o'clock news.
It's good evening. I'm Monty Torres. Ashley Ritchie is off tonight. Thank you for joining us. Fresno police say one of the area's most violent criminals is behind bars tonight. Police say a Crime Stoppers tip helped them find the man. KMPH News reporter Erica Cervantes spoke with officers about the bust just a few hours after police put the accused car thieves behind bars. They say they got lucky and made 2 more arrests for similar crimes. This man was pretty upset.
You got that camera on my face?
Yelling at our camera. Police say a patrol officer spotted a stolen car and followed it. A special car theft unit came in and arrested the 2 people in the car. You may notice a new police car on the streets of Fresno, one that's certainly unique and maybe even a bit funny looking, but it has a purpose. KMPH News reporter Rich Rodriguez shows you the education tool that's half taxi cab and half police car. The George Zimmerman murder trial in Florida now in its final stages, as KMPH News reporter Eric Rosales explains. After a morning of fireworks and procedural decisions, the prosecution wrapped up its case. Forget stuffy job fairs or faxing your resume. These days, you can hit the bar scene and the job market at the same time. But as reporter Nicole Garcia shows us in tonight's KMPH News special report, one more round may mean one less job offer in the morning. Well, if your eyes are dry and you're getting headaches, you may have to blame some of your favorite toys. We'll show you how your smartphone and other mobile devices may be the source of those problems. Fresno police say they found a knife under Alanise's driver's side seat. The 2 officers are recovering, maybe off work for a few days. So far, at this hour, Alanise remains inside the Fresno County Jail. And this is not the first time someone's been hurt because a criminal was free to roam the streets. Just last week, someone lost their life because of that. This is Walter Levon McDaniel. McDaniel was a free man because the Madera County Department of Corrections made a mistake. That was the second time McDaniel was arrested after crashing a car in a high-speed chase. Well, detectives are hoping the video you're about to see now will help them catch a couple of killers. Breaking news now on a sizable power outage in Fresno. PG&E is telling us some 3,000 customers do not have electricity right now. Welcome to Vote America 2012. I'm Monty Torres. The flag of the U.S. Capitol is flying at half-staff, ordered there by House Speaker John Boehner. This after the American ambassador to Libya and 3 co-workers were murdered by a mob. The State Department sent out a news release late Tuesday night apologizing to Muslims for someone hurting their feelings. That had Republican presidential candidate Mitt Romney on the attack and Democrats bashing Romney for his reaction. We'll show you that statement in a moment. But first, President Obama and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton said the U.S. will go after the people who killed the American diplomats and said the United States will remain a friend of Libya. Republican presidential candidate Mitt Romney also sent his condolences to the families of the murdered diplomats. And he said America needs to strike back. But it was something else, Mr. Romney said, that had Democrats taking verbal pot shots at him. Democrats were going off on Mitt Romney's statements, the one you heard, within moments of it getting into the media. Former presidential candidate John Kerry called Mr. Romney insensitive. 11-year-old Addie Aguilar is all girl. Put the Dry Creek Elementary fifth grader in headgear and on a mat. Yep, second and watch out. Addie's just one of the hundreds of kids caught up in the fighting fever of the Central Valley's wrestling culture.
It's exploding.
Almost any given weekend during the winter season, look and you will find dozens of kids, boys and girls, as young as 9 and 10, on up through high school, locked in combat at organized wrestling tournaments.
There's a passion for this, and the parents just love it, and the competition, so it's out there.
But the Central Valley definitely, I mean, it's crazy.
But there's a method to the madness, says former Fresno State wrestling coach Dennis DeLito. That craze for the sport has produced state high school wrestling champions and championships far out of proportion to the Valley's numbers when compared with the rest of the state. I have something to confess. We as journalists are supposed to be impartial in our reporting, and I have not been. See, I too have a passion for wrestling. It's in my blood. My father will celebrate his 80th birthday this weekend. These pictures here are of him. Was national wrestling champion for the Philippines in 1951 and represented the Philippines in the 1952 Olympics in Helsinki, Finland. Now, he didn't win a medal, but is still proud to call himself an Olympian and a wrestler, and I am still proud to call him my champion. Love you, Pop.
That was great.
The heart falters, breathing slows, death nears, and with it comes the fear of pain, of loss, and of what comes next, of what lies beyond death's door, something we can never know until we make that crossing. Or can we? Somewhere between fading life and a last breath, before passing the threshold between this world and the next, do the dying see the other side? Hospice workers and ministers to the terminally ill were there to witness these moments, tell what they see and hear at the hour of death, at death's door. At the Beth David Messianic Synagogue in Fresno, the old ways come to life.
And as I started investigating the scriptures more deeply, I came upon scriptures in Jeremiah that told us we needed to get back to the ancient paths. And of course, Christianity comes right out of Judaism. So those are the ancient paths.
And to follow those ancient paths, about 125 members meet every Friday night at St. James Anglican Cathedral Community Hall in Fresno. There, they celebrate Shabbat, the Sabbath, at the time and in the manner, they say, God originally commanded in the Bible.
What the Messianic movement is Jews and Gentiles together worshiping the Messiah of Israel in a Hebraic way, with Davidic praise and worship as King David would have done, with flags and banners.
These believers in Jesus Christ are part of a fast-growing global movement who say it is the ancient ways, the historic biblical ways, that matter most, not only because they were given by God himself in the Torah, but also because they foreshadow our future. Now, using that prophetic timetable and modern science, another Messianic pastor says he's found something that could be a sign of things to come soon.